Okay, let's get first on the stage. Let's welcome Chase Masterson to the stage, please.
Hi Sheffield, how are you?
Good.
Thanks so much for having us. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here. Hi.
Hey, please welcome the lovely Swink.
Sandwich, I hope that's good.
And on the subject, let's get the meat filling, shall we? Please welcome Armin Shimerman.
If I'm the meat, I'm sure I'm pork. So, but it's nice to sit between these two lovely ladies. How are you all?
You guys are nice.
Community property when we're married.
How are you?
Good.
Should we do a picture like we did
Sure,
before?
yeah. Why don't you take some pictures?
You all know that when I was shooting those Umach scenes, you have ears that are made of rubber, you can't feel it.
Oh, Lumba, I know you did.
I don't know what Ron felt, but what did you
And that's a very good thing.
Do you have any questions? We'll be glad to answer. 2 hours, by the way.
No. What?
They know. They understand. It's how long my makeup was. 2 hours.
One question is from the gentleman in the center. We're just walking the mic to you just now.
There you are. There's the phone.
There we go.
Yes. Hi.
Hi. Obviously, in Deep Space Nine, you had a very built-up family in there. How was that sort of relationship reflected off camera?
Off camera? Off camera, my family on camera was very dear to me. Max, who played Rom, is like a brother to me, and we still have a very close and meaningful relationship. The lady who played my mom has passed away, but she was a dear friend before. In fact, Kitty and I helped her audition for Moogie, and I attended her memorial, spoke at her memorial, so she was very close to me. Chase, of course, is very close as well. Renee and I, for the most part, still see each other a great deal. We've taken lots of trips together. The other members of my company, Chase and Kitty will tell you the same. They all live in different parts of the world, so we don't get to see each other as often. In fact, it's conventions where most of us get to do our reunions, as I will do today with Anthony Head, who I haven't seen for years from Buffy, and I'll get a chance to spend a little bit more time with him tonight. So.
I should say that when the Ferengi episodes came along, Armin would get everybody on Saturdays or Sundays to come over to our dining room, sit around the dining room table and work on the scripts, and I would come home from whatever I was doing, and there would be a large swath of Ferengis and Lita, usually at my house, including Wally Shawn would show up, and it was really extraordinary. An unusual thing.
How do you feel about the thing?
I was always really glad to be a part of the Ferengi family because these were the people off screen that I felt most comfortable with. Anyway, and people ask me who was great, and I really do tell them, I don't know if I've ever told you this, but I really tell them the first thing I say is Armin was great, because he would take Max and I aside, and if there was, Max and I were fairly, I wouldn't say new,
How
but
did you
not as
kiss Max?
experienced.
I've always wondered, how did you get around those teeth?
When you have to know. How did you get around the teeth? No, but Max and I had not worked as much as these guys, being series regulars, and we just hadn't had as many episodes of anything under our belt as they had by... anyway, and Armin would take us aside and say, hey, do you see how this shot is being set up, and this is why they're doing that, or this lens, or this angle, so here's what you should keep in mind. And just little things here and there that was so helpful, not just technically, although it was helpful technically, but just to know that another actor had your back. You know, it was a really nice welcoming feeling. Guesting on other shows was not nearly as comfortable at times. Just different vibes, you know?
Tried to make it a family. We did do that.
There's one right in the centre there. Let's get the mic over to him. It's coming from one direction. There we go.
Hi, for Armin mainly, how much of the relationship between Odo and Quark was Odo and Quark, or how much was you and Renee?
Well, I have to preface that when I read the script and I sat in the audition at the very end, and it was almost fairly obvious that the 7 people that were in the room with me, or the 6 people that were in the room with me, were going to be the series regulars. And I said, "Oh, Renee Auberge." Repeat after me, by the way, everybody. Renee. Aubergenois. Because I've heard some delightful pronunciations of his accent. So, when I saw that Renee Aubergenois was going to be Odo, I had done a play with Renee earlier in our careers, and we hadn't got along all that well in the play. So I thought, oh, he's going to be easy to hate. And then what happened was, they put us right next to each other in the makeup trailer, and like 2 boys in the 1st grade, we bonded together and became enormously good friends. I will venture to say that Renee, Odo and Quark's relationship on Deep Space Nine was one of the great love affairs of all time.
Any more questions, guys? Please get your hands off your arm. Oh, yeah, there we go. One there.
Did anyone ever actually play pranks on each other on set?
No, that's an excellent question. And I know that the other shows had lots of pranks. I know that Next Generation and Voyager, and I don't know about Enterprise, but I know that both those 2 shows had lots of pranks. And maybe these 2 can tell you differently. But I never heard of a prank done on our show. We never tried to, do something outrageous to each other. Primarily, we went to work. And though our work was fun and comedic at times, there were never any pranks. That may be because there's a standard practice in our business. Everything comes from the first person on the call sheet. Whoever the star is of the TV show, that's the tone that's set for everything backstage. Well, we have Mr. Brooks as number 1 on the call sheet, and so perhaps the tone was set immediately that when you came to work, you came to work.
And there's not time. I mean, really, I don't know how the other shows got away with it, but 2 other things real quickly. There just isn't a lot of time because you're shooting very quickly, an episode in 8 days. So that goes fast. If you want to make sure that you get the work in and do each shot as you want it and have time to do that, you don't have time to play like that. And also our show was very dark, with few exceptions. It wasn't the mood of the show,
So, no, there weren't, as far as I know, there were never, in the 7 years that we did the show, there was never a prank.
Not the answer you want to hear, I'm sure.
Can I just ask each of you, what are you all doing now? Are you in anything now, or families, or?
Thanks. I did 3 movies last year. One is RUR, which you can find at rurfilm.com. You can read more about that. One is a film I did over here called A Search for Simon. And one is a little film the jury's out on called Unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And I've got a series over here that I'm doing called Vienna, which is a Doctor Who Big Finish spin-off. Yeah, I played opposite 2 of the original Doctors, Tom Baker and Sylvester McCoy, and it went very well, and we broke the internet when my episodes came out, and they said, would you like your own show? So we did a pilot, and they took it to 1st season, and now we're in our 3rd season. So it's pretty exciting. So it's are you guys Big Finish fans? Yeah, I love doing the work. It's fun. It's only voiceover, it's not television, but you don't have to wash your hair, which is awesome.
That's kind of the best thing.
Yeah, it's really fun. I'll tell you real fast. Vienna is an impossibly glamorous mercenary assassin. So it's kind of like if La Femme Nikita and Elaine from Seinfeld had a baby. She's funny and ferocious.
Kitty and I'll let Kitty answer for herself, but we help run a theater in Los Angeles, and so we've been involved in a lot of theater. And actually, I'm growing my hair out. I'm about to start rehearsal, not at our theater, but at a different theater in Los Angeles, where I'll play Leo Tolstoy. And I start rehearsals the moment I get back to the States. And so that's what I'm doing next. As far as TV, no, I haven't really done that much in the last couple of years. I've done a little here and there, but nothing really to mention.
We actually just finished a film together, hello, called Gianni and Divine Meet the Apocalypse. It's ridiculous, and if you're also Buffy fans, not only was Armin in it, but Harry Groner, who played the mayor, is in it, and that was fun. That was great fun. And Barry Bostwick, for those who know Barry, is ridiculously fun to work with. And I did another couple of small movies, and I go back to shoot a movie called Penumbra, which is a family melodrama. And I just finished doing a production of Oedipus, a little light tragedy, for the summer. And Armin and I are under construction of our house, and I think that really takes all of our time.
And our money.
Next question from the gentleman just over there. Yep.
Hi guys. Quick question regarding the show. If there was ever a storyline that wasn't made, what would you like to have done on DS9?
For me, I don't. There's one storyline I would have liked to have seen, and my wife's sitting next to me, so I have to be brief about it. And Chase is sitting on the other side. The only storyline I actually would have liked to have seen is some sort of relationship besides just playing tango with Jadzia Dax. I at one point thought, oh, are they going in that direction? And they weren't. That's the one thing I would have liked to have seen. Aside from that, my God, they gave me a ton of wonderful things to do. Mostly comic, but sometimes serious. I couldn't have asked for more.
You know, I was just a guest. I came in and I left, so I watched as much as a fan as you guys did. I was glad to be there. I got to work with people that were my friends. But I just wanted to see the ride that Ira Bear created, and these guys took us on. It was pretty swell, I think.
Kitty is the only person that I know that broke what I call the spouse barrier. I don't think there is any other spouse from any of the main actors who was on the show, whether husband or wife.
Well, Sid and Anand, but
that happened afterwards.
I would have liked to see a bit more, well, there was none. I would have liked to see the leader that was from War Torn Bajor. I think they could have done some things with that. I would have liked to see some more depth, if you will. Just some different textures and colors of who Lita was. And yet, I'm grateful for what we have. You know, I was always supposed to be on one episode, 4 lines, and so, you know, to have gotten to do as much as I did and have that much compassion and all that, I think was a really neat thing to get to do. And now I'm the wife of the Grand Nagus, so who can argue with that, right? Thank you.
I can't.
That's true.
Next question from the lady over by there. There you go.
Hi. Firstly, you mentioned earlier about the tone being darker in DS9 and that you had more of a fixed work ethic than the other shows, the pranks. Do you think that's more because DS9 was almost grounded, even though it was a space station, than the other shows which were based on starships?
Yes, I think you put your finger exactly on it. We were not about going out and finding adventure, we were about adventure coming to us. And we were also we were not so much interested, until perhaps later, about solving the problems of the universe. but rather about solving the problems of a group of people living together in a small space. And how do you deal with that? Which is something I think most of humanity has to live with one way or another. And that, so it was much more a show about interpersonal relationships than it was about whether had enough phasers to destroy a planet or not. In fact, I think Star Trek won an award once from some humanitarian society that we killed off more people than any other TV show in history, which is probably true. We killed planets off, so yeah. So in that sense, because we were grounded, as you put it, we were a different show, and perhaps darker. Yes, I think Chase is right when she says that we were darker.
I think boldly going is scarier, to go boldly into who you are and who your problems are, problems and benefits, the good things and the hard things with another individual. I think that's just as scary. I think that's just as scary, or just as much of an adventure as going to another planet, right? So it was very bold to have to go where these characters went, even though these characters went.
It felt to me like there was real conflict on Deep Space Nine. There wasn't like, there wasn't like having a phaser over some people who land on a planet, and if you're wearing the wrong color shirt, you die. It was real interpersonal conflict, which I think is the kind of drama that interests me the most is based on. So, although I loved the other shows,
You agree, of course, right? Of course you do.
To Sarah in the second row, and then the gentleman up there as well. Okay. Hello. Okay.
Hello, your characters to any other series of Star Trek, which would it have been?
I can answer that. I went to two others. I took my character. I didn't take them. I was honored actually. On Next Generation as Quark, actually in a later part of their running. But I was in